Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Geo, episode 36. As always, I'm your host, Bros and Stratos. Here with me today we have dude. Welcome back. We just got done watching this episode, and man, did this fall flat on its face or what?
It was still enjoyable, you know, in various parts of the episode, but it felt like I don't know how to like really.
My enjoyment came from how bad it was, like how funny, how much worse it kept getting.
Yeah, like this episode did feel like it just fell apart.
Yeah,
like the get-go. Like especially we kind of had like that scene transition into like
some sewers.
Yeah. Just kind of like, wait, what's happening? And then like 2 minutes later, they're all bowing down to the one lady. I don't know what the time jackers are. They're like one of the most overpowered forces in this show. Why are they suddenly bowing down to?
Yeah, they can also shoot time at people, apparently. Also, this definitely felt like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tribute episode. We got a sewer. We got some manhole covers. That's about it. Those are the only things I can relate.
We got some pie.
We got some pie. Also, what was up with the very intrusive use of the violin music? That was everywhere.
That was probably done as a joke, because I feel like her entire character, especially like the dramatic bits, were supposed to kind of be played as amusing, and they really were. Like we find out in the middle of the episode that she was actually lying about everything.
Oh yeah, turns out she's 100% yandere.
Yeah, and then she just kind of kills this one lady with the manhole of all things. That scene kind of like perfectly summarized, you know, her character. It's so dumb, it's so over the top, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the episode, because I really liked it, but it was so bad. It was so aggressively in your face bad. Like, they wanted to get rid of all the goodwill they built up the last episode, building up another Kiva, building up Ginga, only to have him like die, and then the time jacker finally gets a watch and then gets snatched immediately. Like the dumbest stuff kept happening.
This was a very bad episode for Schwartz. Yeah. Like when that lady starts giving him sass, like even his underlings start laughing. And then like I remember like early on in the episode when they're kind of like talking about like Ginga, Schwartz was having like the most, you know, evil scheme plotting face, and then Watts was kind of like listening in on his inner monologue. Like, I think this guy's up to something.
Something's wrong here.
Maybe the time jackers will try to take the powers again, because that's something they typically try to do.
Yeah. Also, I loved how they decided to get around having Geo use the Kiva watch, because they didn't make the suit. They got around it by him hesitating to use it on her so she wouldn't lose her powers. And then we got Waz Ginga finally, which it was used beautifully. Like that moment when the cape becomes the background and ejects you into space.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
I had like a similar reaction to the lady was used on. She's like, oh.
It was great. It was a wild time, man. Yeah. Like this episode ranges from like progressively horrible and like really pretty.
Yeah, like Ginga's inclusion in these last couple of episodes was just so random. Like when we thought we're gonna have like, you know, a future writer threat with one of our, you know, previous writers or another writers, that would have been like a nice, you know, way to like balance like two plot lines. But then in the middle of this episode, apparently this dude gets some shade and he just freezes up, and they're just like, oh, okay. I guess the imminent danger of Ginga is kind of just like gone. And like Ginga wasn't really doing much. He was just like, throwing balls at like peasants.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? He can just do that for the remainder of the series and it wouldn't inflict any damage to anyone.
I don't understand Ginga outside of him being a power-up.
That's exactly what he was.
Yeah, like it got in the way of the narrative so much that like why did we need it? Like,
okay, he didn't even have a name, dude. Like,
yeah.
No name, no personality. Maybe he did have a name in the prior episode, but who cares now? It's not relevant.
He was so cool, though. And the way they built him up, I would have loved an arc with it. But, like, the implications of it is that, like, in the original timeline, before the one Gates and Tsukiyomi came back, and Waz and all the other Timejackers came back to, it's like, he existed, and he was just in space. And now in this timeline, he just decides to come by?
Come by, donate his powers, and just kind of like, fuck off.
Yeah, like, the dude's straight up dead. He's... I don't even want to call him a future writer either. Like, did they... They said,
well,
oh,
he's a past writer now.
Yeah. Like, they said something offhand where it was like, oh, maybe he came through a rift in time and space or something. I don't buy it. There's not... Like,
is that what they call the writer's butthole now? Like, honestly, like, the consequence of his character is just giving Waz a cool power-up, so I really don't care all too much.
But, like... The Ginga suit was so cool, and I feel like it was wasted.
Yeah,
that's my gripe.
Yeah, and I still like Ginga a little bit more than Waz, except like the finale, like Ginga Finally's finale. Yeah, that was pretty good. But like the base suit and like the way it was just fighting was so fucking cool.
Yeah. Also, the fact that another Kiva was fighting as an ally for a time, like. It makes me want to see Geo use like another writers as allies, like have them come by.
Like another Geo did.
But... Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Because I don't know. Because on top of that, she came with her own little army, and that was really nice.
Yeah, and she was a lot more sentient than most other writers. I feel like the only other one would probably be Dan. But for the most part, a lot of the other writers are just kind of like zombified versions, like some of the same intense.
Well, like it's the people with enough ambition that sort of like take on the role is kind of what I'm figuring.
And that one basketball player, but
oh yeah. But I did like it. I did like another Kiva and sort of what that could possibly mean for the future. Because again, like just having tons of allies specific to Geo, it's kind of like how Decade had. He technically had all the previous writers, but they were alternate universe versions. That's kind of like Geo's deal with the another writers, so I'd kind of like to see that. But I don't think we'll get it. Alex, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about this episode?
Anything substantial, no.
Alright, cool. So guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought about this episode. And hey, go ahead and watch that watch along if you haven't already. Guys, keep it juicy.
Yep, see ya. That apple pie scene at the end, though.
Oh my god!
He's just kind of has a splotched on his cheek. And
I know,
Tsukiyomi doesn't even fucking react to just being...
At some point it was just on his nose and like all of it. I'm pretty sure it was just stuck on Waz's nose.